it going, guys? And welcome back to a very long overdue North Coast Constrictors video. It's been, I would say, close to 6 weeks, almost 2 months since I made my last video. I'll have to go back and check. I have been so busy with my other job. The ball pythons and the retics are a sideline hobby business for me. I have a full-time other job, but I own another business, and that has taken up all of my time for the last 2 months, and I've had no time to actually stand in front of a camera and make videos. Believe it or not, these videos actually do take quite a lot of time to make because I do make quite a lot of mistakes. I don't edit my videos, but sometimes, I make a ton of mistakes and I just stop and restart instead of trying to edit it out because I'm not that good on the computer and editing and whatnot. So I just stop it and restart it. Anyway, it's Saturday afternoon here in South Africa, and I am in the snake facility cleaning. I spot clean every day, do water every second day, but on the weekends, on the really soiled tubs, I do a complete clean and disinfect and fresh substrates, which is what I'm doing today. But I thought I have to make another YouTube video. I have to, and I really wanted to make something. I'm predominantly a ball python breeder, and I know the market is taking an absolute hammering at the moment. Ball python breeding, guys, let's not beat around the bush, okay? Ball pythons at the moment, a lot of guys getting out of the industry. The prices of ball pythons are plummeting. Well, they were plummeting, okay? So we've had a very tough 2 years. I do believe, and I am South African, okay, so we are a little bit behind with the trend and prices and selling when it comes to countries like America, that ball pythons are on the way back up again, okay? The market is slowly starting to recover. But right now in South Africa, we are in a really, really difficult position, okay? So snakes aren't selling well, I'll be perfectly honest with you. When I got into it 4 years ago, I thought, by this time, I would be well on my way to, not only loving the hobby, guys, let's not kid ourselves. You got to love doing what you're doing, okay? But let's also not kid ourselves and say that we don't want to make money out of it, okay? If you have a collection of 500 snakes or more, or even 100 snakes or more, you are a breeder that intends to make money, okay? Because it costs money to keep these snakes. You have to feed them. My electricity bill is astronomical every month. I've got two 18,000 BTU air conditioners in this room running 24/7, plus obviously all these racks are heated. Okay, but enough about that. All right, it's not great. So I've been working extra hard at my other company because that was, the economy in general. The reason why the ball python market isn't so great is not necessarily just because there are too many breeders or snakes aren't selling well. It's the entire economy and everyone doing badly in all sectors of industry. And the first thing that you do is stop spending money on luxury items. And guys, if you're honest with yourselves, ball python breeding and being a ball python breeder hobbyist is kind of a luxury hobby because, I've got snakes in my collection worth well over 100,000 Rand, okay? So we South African, our currency is Rand. It's not the US dollar or the pound. If you want to take a comparison, I think the pound is about 23 Rand to 1 pound and probably about 18 Rand to a dollar. We got snakes in our collection. Like for example, I've got this beautiful dreamsicle female. This is a double recessive lavender albino pied. She is an absolute stunner. I produced her last season. This snake would normally go 2 years ago. This snake got a little bit of an emoji there as well. a snake like this, being a female, would have probably sold for about 80,000 Rand. Today, I would be lucky to get 30,000 Rand for her today just because of the market. But having said that, I do believe the market will recover. Okay. By this time, I honestly thought 4 years ago that by this time I would be making a bit of money on snakes, and I'm actually finding myself having to subsidize this. So I'm working double hard. I'm breeding still. I am still breeding, but I'm breeding very little, and I'm breeding extremely high end. Well, in my opinion, not to sell to the few to the local market, but those would be high-end breeders that are looking for certain genetics, and concentrating on more the export market. Snakes that guys would buy in America. And guys, if you are American, and I've looked at my analytics, and my audience is about 48% American, which is the largest. Take advantage of the exchange rate, because you can buy the same snake here in South Africa, including shipping, transport, quarantine, and all of that, for a lot less than what you'd pay for that same snake in America if you had to pay US dollars for it, because our currency is so weak. Yeah, you'll have to wait a little bit longer for your snake, sure, and you have the risk of the export. But if you buy from a reputable breeder, and there are a few of us in South Africa that are incredibly reputable breeders. The guys that I buy the bulk of my snakes from, Justin Kabalka is actually one of their clients, and he buys snakes from them. They are, I don't want to shout name out at the moment, but I have mentioned them on my videos before, responsible for creating more new genes, brand new genes in South Africa than anyone else, any other breeder in South Africa. And then Justin Kabalka and other top breeders in America will buy those genes, and then they'll add onto it and make different morphs and so on and so forth. Okay, so we have got incredibly talented breeders and knowledgeable guys here in South Africa that are creating new genes every year. Well, maybe not every year, but so I decided that I was going to make a YouTube video today, and what I wanted to do, I get so many views and likes when I do my retic videos, okay, but I'm predominantly a ball python breeder, so I want to move back. I want to, it's not just for the views. I don't make any money off YouTube. I don't have nearly enough followers. I don't have nearly enough views to make any kind of money off YouTube. I do this purely for educational purposes and for entertainment purposes. I also started this channel for South African breeders, because most of the YouTube channels out there, if you are an aspiring ball python breeder in South Africa, a lot of the content that you watch are from Americans, and the Americans work with the imperial system, not the metric system, whereas here in South Africa we work with the metric system. So when we are talking liters and centimeters and whatever, and degrees Celsius, America, they're talking quarts and feet and yards and Fahrenheit. Okay, and it can be very confusing for the South African breeder, because they've got to go onto their Google converter and now try and work out, okay, 90 degrees Fahrenheit is 32.5 degrees Celsius, or somewhere thereabouts. Okay, so I decided that I was going to make a YouTube video, South African, for South Africans, but that doesn't mean I don't want my American audience, because you guys are fantastic. Only 7% of my audience is South African, 48% is American, and I think 4% are from the UK. Come on, UK guys, you need to up your game here. The Americans are beating you. In South Africa, yeah, I think 7%, you know, so it is, I do speak a lot for the South Africans, and I started making this channel so that I could guide people, because I battled when I first started breeding, what temperatures to do, what size tubs, how to, you know, I was relying on people telling me. I was phoning other breeders, and don't get me wrong, guys, I get this a lot too, and I know that it can be irritating. If you're a breeder and you're pretty well known, and you buy snakes, people are buying snakes from you, you're inundated with phone calls, WhatsApp messages, photographs. Please ID the snake for me. What do I do here? What temperature? What should I do? And it can, when you're busy and you're running 2 jobs, and you're trying to do your snakes, it does become frustrating, okay? And the reason why they're doing that is because they're watching, you know, a channel where someone's talking in Fahrenheit and quarts and so on and so forth, and it gets confusing. So if you are South African and you want to know, I've done videos from start to finish, from A to Z of breeding, from how to start all the way up to breeding, incubation, right up to hatching out your eggs, okay? All in South African lingo, using South African terminology and measuring systems, using the metric system. But anyway, this YouTube video, obviously, what's a YouTube video without showing some snakes? And I want to talk about a particular gene that you guys probably may have never heard of, and some of you, very few of you, have heard of. And I didn't even know that this morph existed until I made it, okay? And I didn't know what I made when I made it, okay? Now, it comes from a collection, or a selection rather, of 3 different genes, okay? Well, let's start off with the morphs, and then let's talk about the genes. All right. Now, you would have heard of highway. I'm sure you would have heard of freeway. And yes, there's another one called runway. Okay. Now, what all those have in common is the yellow belly gene. Okay. Freeway is a visual asphalt yellow belly. Highway is a visual yellow belly gravel. Runway is a visual yellow belly flare. Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry. Runway is a visual gravel flare. There's no yellow belly in runway. Beg your pardon, guys. So sorry. Had to quickly just go and check my runway tub there. Okay. So out of runway, highway, and freeway, only 2 of them have got yellow belly. The other one has got flare. Okay. Now, when you mix flare and yellow belly together, now remember, gravel and flare give you a runway. It looks very much like freeway, and I'll pull one out for you. I've got an adult proven breeder female. There's only 2 in the country. I've got one of them. I don't have any freeways, but I do have highways. And I have got Sunkiss. Okay, now I got the Sunkiss gene. I got a clutch of eggs where I got highway, 100% het genetic stripe, and Sunkiss, 100% het genetic stripe. And how I hit that combination was pairing an ivory, which is a super yellow belly, genetic stripe, and although he is a genetic stripe visual, okay, but you can't see the stripe on him because he's an ivory, which is a super yellow belly. Yellow belly is an incomplete dominant gene. You get the super form. The super form is a white snake, very similar to that of a blue-eyed leucistic, like a lesser to a lesser. which is or a butter to a butter, same gene, lesser and butter, same gene, but then you get a bell, which is a blue-eyed leucistic. Now, a super yellow belly is a black-eyed leucistic, okay? It doesn't have blue eyes, it's got black eyes, okay? But it is a super yellow belly genetic stripe, okay? Now, what I did is I paired up that male to a runway female, which is a gravel flare. So I had yellow belly, gravel, and flare all mixed together, and all of the babies are 100% genetic stripe. Now I want to show you. We'll start off with the highways first, okay? And they're down here. Just want to see which ones we're going to, excuse me for jumping off. I got such beautiful ones to show you. They are all looking absolutely stunning. Okay, guys, this is a highway, okay? And the beautiful thing about this highway, I've got 3 of these. They are a bit nippy, and I think my camera light is a little bit, let's just dull this up a little bit, and yeah, that's a lot better. Okay, so that's a true indication of the colors. Okay, highway is a stunning gene. Now the thing about this highway, 100% het genetic stripe, because mommy's a runway, okay, which is where the gravel comes in. Daddy is a super yellow belly, which is where the yellow belly comes in mixed with the gravel, and so we get yellow belly gravel, and we get a highway, and we've got ourselves a highway 100% het genetic stripe, because he is a visual genetic stripe. But as I've said, you can't see the stripe. But I know he is a genetic stripe. I'll pull out another one that is also incredibly awesome. I have 3 of these highways that had a 7. Look how stunning this is. Look how absolutely stunning this highway is. Okay, all from the same siren dame, 100% het genetic stripe. Okay, all right. I wish I had a freeway to show you guys, but unfortunately I don't have freeway in my collection yet. All right, and then the last one to pull out, this is the 3rd highway that we got out. Also 100% het genetic stripe, same clutch of eggs, same sire, same dame. So we've got 3 of these, and now I'm going to show you the dad is in shed. Unfortunately, the sire is an ivory, 100% het genetic stripe. He's in shed. Not going to pull him out. So I'm not going to disturb him. But he's just a plain white snake with black eyes. Okay, that's easy enough to see for yourself, or imagine for yourself. Okay, but he is a genetic stripe. I paired him to a runway. I'm going to pull out my runway female now, and a runway is a gravel flare. Give me 2 seconds while I get her out. She's right over here, right on the top shelf. I won't be long. Okay, right. So this, ladies and gents, is a and these aren't these are marks on her. These are black spots on her. Okay. So this is what a runway looks like, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Look at that paradox over there. It's a paradox. Okay. Absolute stunner of a snake. Okay. A runway is absolutely something fantastic. Now, if you have a look at the highways, you can see clearly there is a very big difference between a highway and runway. And if you've ever seen freeway, you'll see there's even more of a difference between the freeway and the highway and the runway. Okay, her tail is a little bit darker. It's just get that around there. She's got a little bit of a darker side to the tail, but you can clearly see those beautiful dorsal patterns there. She's a lot whiter, yellow, and then that eventually goes down into a very white belly. Okay, So a stunning, stunning, stunning animal. Okay. Now she was paired to an ivory, which is a super yellow belly visual genetic stripe. Okay, now I'm going to pull out the sun-kissed hatchlings. Before I do that, they're not as, what's the word? Spectacular, like impressive. I'm not going to be pulling out a snake that's going to be like, oh, okay. But they came out very white, very light. They almost came out ivory looking, okay? But still, 100% had genetic stripe. Now, the reason why I kept them all back, all right, here's one of them now. They look quite patchy, okay, almost yellowy, all right. There is a little bit of striping. There's 4 of them. The patterns and the markings are quite inconsistent. Now, if you look at the snake, you're kind of going, well, there's nothing really that special about the snake. No, you'd be quite right in saying that, okay? But here's the thing. Freeway, runway, and highway and genetic stripe all have one thing in common. Well, not one thing in common, something very similar in common. A line down the dorsal. Okay, down the dorsal. A genetic stripe, and I'll pull. I've got a visual genetic stripe, which I'll pull out for you now. This is a pastel yellow belly genetic stripe. Okay, now you see that stripe that runs down the back here. Okay, she's an adult proven breeder, and she's pastel yellow belly, and she's genetic stripe. Okay, so they've got that beautiful stripe, which is where they get their name from, genetic stripe. Okay, all right. Genetic stripe is a recessive trait, which means you need 2 copies of the gene to get a genetic stripe. Okay, all of those, well, the 3 highways that I pulled out are all 100% hit genetic stripe, and because Dad is a genetic stripe visual. I wish I could pull him out, but as I say, he's in the shed. All right. Here is another sun kiss. Okay. Now on this one, we've got a little bit of a head stamp. Quite a funky head stamp, but still generally a white snake with a little bit of blotching, a little bit of gold. As I say, nothing too spectacular, okay? But I'm going to get to a point, guys, if you'll just allow me a chance to get there. Here's number 3. This one is a little bit more white than the others. Not much of a head stamp there, a little bit darker, okay? But all generally kind of like a very faint line, very yellow line down the dorsal, but not anything like the mother, like the runway, and not anything like the genetic stripe. But also from the same clutch as the highways, and as I say, sun kiss is yellow belly flare. Okay, yellow belly flare. And the last one that I'm going to pull out, she is an absolute beast. She just wants to eat everything. She's probably going to bite me while we're on camera. There we go. She just wants to eat. She's due for a feed. And she's a lovely snake. And she's got a lovely personality. She just wants to constrict and eat. She's got a healthy appetite. And yeah. She's probably going to take another swipe at my finger. But this is another sun-kissed 100% het genetic stripe. Okay. Oh, yeah, and that tail's going, and yeah, she's the liveliest of the bunch. All right. So let me tell you what my plans are, guys, with this. Let me see if I can just calm her down for a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna hold her. All she wants to do is eat. She's just looking for something to bite onto now. I think she's realized that I'm too big to eat. Okay. I'm gonna be breeding these back to each other because of the genetic stripe. All of them being 100% het genetic stripe, okay? All right. And because runway, highway, and freeway and genetic stripe have all got that stripe down the dorsal, I want to see what genetic stripe does to Sunkiss visual. I want to produce, ow, 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 ow. I want to produce what I think may be the very, very first ever genetic stripe Sunkiss. Okay, that's what I want to do. That's my goal. That's why I've kept them all back. Okay, I may do a pairing where I actually take the highway and pair it up to a Sunkiss because it's also 100% het genetic stripe. I'm going to do a Sunkiss male 100% genetic stripe to a Sunkiss female 100% genetic stripe. And then I'm going to do a highway 100% het genetic stripe to a Sunkiss 100% het genetic stripe. And we're going to see what we get. Unfortunately, I'll only be able to do this in 2026. Okay, so guys, that is our ball python video for the day, and I welcome back to the internet and YouTube. And I'm, sorry I've been out of action for so long. It is tough times all around for everyone in the world. So I've just had to work extra hard. I haven't had time to make YouTube videos. I don't even have time to make this one, and it's going on half an hour. But I wanted to come back on screen. I've had a lot of pressure, and to get in front of the camera and to make a video and be upbeat and whatever, especially when the ball python market is down and you kind of losing money and having sort of money into the industry. You don't really feel like you're not in the mood. You don't want to. I've invested a lot of money into this hobby, passion, business venture. All three above, I consider them all to be equal. Okay, only to have to be putting more money into at the moment. Okay, and then that's gonna just put a downer on everything and everyone. And that is why there's so many guys that are bailing out of the industry. However, this happens every 5 to 7 years. It goes down. Certain genetics will drop in value and they'll never recover. But there's always something new, and there's always something coming up and an increase in value, and then the market will pick up again. And that is an ending in this video. I'd like to encourage all you ball python breeders out there. Don't give up. Not just yet. Okay. The industry relies on other breeders because we're not pet shops. Breeders buy from other breeders. If you want to breed snakes, you don't go to a pet shop. The guys that go and buy from the pet shops are the guys that just want to buy one snake, have it in an enclosure, grow it nice and big, and have it as a display. They don't want to run it as a hobby/business. And you do that because you want to breed them, make hatchings, and sell them for money. And you want to see a return on your investment. Everybody does, okay? So, everyone says, oh, don't do it for the money. Don't do it for the money. No, don't do it for the money, okay? But don't do it if you can't even break even or make a bit of a profit. If you're going to be putting money into it every single month, then you've got to change your business strategy. You've got to change, first of all, there are certain genes, and this is a topic for another whole video, which I'm going to probably touch on later, maybe next week or the week after. I don't know when I'm going to make another video because I'm still incredibly busy with work at the moment. Look, I'm always going to be busy with work, but I'm going to make an effort to make more YouTube videos. And one of the topics I'm going to talk about is what genes now to leave alone. Stop breeding them. You're not going to sell them. Leave them alone. Stop it. Concentrate on these genes. These are the ones that are going to make a difference. These are the ones that are going to sell. You know, I am working on projects. You guys cannot see my entire facility. I mean, you can just see, I think, just a couple of hatching racks over there, some adult proven, those are all my adult breeder racks over there, and then I've got another, you can just a very small portion of this room. I've got probably another 300 and something snakes down that side there. A lot of them are for sale. I've done what I've needed to do with them. Great snakes, beautiful snakes. A lot of them all 100% female adult proven breeders, 100% head for clown, pod, desert ghost, lavender albino, genetic stripe, you name it, okay? A lot of them is for sale. They've done their job. They've done 2 or 3 seasons for me. I've got the visuals that I need out of them, and they're going. I'm cutting my collection right down. I'm streamlining down. I want to get down to probably about 100 to 120 snakes that are very, very high end and that I can concentrate on. So I'm working on certain projects. You got to start off quite big and buy a lot of snakes to get a very small percentage of what you're actually looking for, because the odds when you're shooting for the stars, guys, the odds are so small. So it takes a lot to just achieve one small thing. And when you get that one small thing and you keep it back and you hold it, okay. But then, you know, you try 2 or 3 seasons, you see what you can get out of it, and then you take what you can. If you luck out, you luck out. You just forget about it. If you get what you're looking for, great. Hold that snake back, breed it up. If it's a male, it can breed after a year to 18 months. If it's a female, it can breed after 2 years, 2.5 years. Okay, that's kind of a rough estimate of what I work to. And I've got multiple projects, I would say about 6 or 7 projects, where I'm working on a combination of genes that include recessive, dominant, and incomplete dominant, but visual recessives, mixed with other genes that are almost unheard of, okay? And I'm not going to go into it now. I'm not going to discuss it now because, you know, well, it's research that I've done, and I've looked and said, is anyone making this? Is anyone making that? I've never seen a snake that is a recessive, but it's got X, Y, and Z. It's got that dominant or that incomplete dominant. I wonder what that would look like. Okay, so, but having said that, I've just shown you one of my kind of like secret projects, but as far as I'm concerned, I don't know what will come. That's a safe project to show you. Everybody knows highway, everybody knows freeway. Maybe some of you now have heard of runway, and some of you now have heard of Sunkiss. Okay, the super version of flare, a super flare, is called a sun foil. I think you may have heard of that. And I thought, okay, let me share that project with you. But I've got other projects on the go. Guys, we're talking another 4 to 6 years of breeding before we even gonna see that, okay? I have got the hatchlings, male and female, and in different genes. I have to wait for them to be old enough and big enough to breed together. And hopefully when I do, I'm going to be producing the visuals of what I'm going for on a whole bunch of different projects. And if I get what I think I'm going to get, and in my mind's eye, what I visualize in making in the next 4 to 6 years, man, it's going to be incredible. Okay, so for those of you that are thinking about getting out of the hobby, and if you don't have a long-term plan and a long-term goal or the finances to stick with it, maybe it is time to get out and find those snakes a home where people can take care of them, feed them, look after them, because it does cost money. The heating, the feeding, the substrate, the time it takes to look after, especially if you've got a very big collection. We actually have to breed our own rats and mice to feed our collection. Otherwise, we would just not be able to afford it. With the snake sales being as low as they are, we would not be able to afford to feed 500 snakes. But having said that, if you do have the time and the patience, and you have a relatively small collection or manageable collection, and you're willing to put the time and the effort in, then and you've got a project and you've got a goal, and you are looking at a certain a morph or whatever that someone hasn't done, a combination of genes that you say, if I take that combination, I take that combination, I pair them together, but you've done the research on them to see that no one else is doing it, okay? Hours, days, weeks, months of research, okay? Then start working towards that, because that will ensure that you will sell those snakes and become successful with it. Okay, so yeah, if you're at the crossroads at the moment, like I was a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago, and I was there for quite a long time. I stood at those crossroads and I was ready to say, right, that's it. I'm selling up. I'm selling every single ball python I've got. I'm getting out of the industry, and I'm just going to concentrate on what I know. Okay. I mean, I know snakes, so I'm going to concentrate on what actually puts food on the table and pays for my house, pays for my car, pays for my son's school, and I'm going to stop pumping money. I'm not getting any money out of the snakes. I'm putting more money in than I'm getting out. That's it. I'm done. And I had a couple of really good friends. Fortunately, I'm lucky enough and fortunate enough to be friends with, I would say, 3 of the top breeders in South Africa that have encouraged me to stay in the industry and not to leave. Because I've spoken to a few people about what my plans are and what I wanted to do, and then said, listen, I actually think it's time to give it up. It's going to go nowhere. And they said, like, no, don't. It's like, you're almost at the top of the mountain. Let's say, okay, I don't want to compare it to like climbing Mount Everest, okay, but let's say very, very challenging mountain that you're climbing and you're tired, your legs are tired, they're aching, every step you take is aching, okay? And all you want to do is stop and turn around and go back to where it's safe, go back to where it's comfortable, go back to what you know, or you got to push on just another year or 2. Okay, I'm talking about in the ball python, but let's go back to the mountain. Let's say you can see the summit. You're almost there. Okay, like I've spent 4 years breeding now. Okay, I can see the summit of what I intend to produce in the next 2 years, 3 years. For me to stop and turn around now would be like seeing the summit of Mount Everest and turning around and walking away and giving up, because mentally or physically I just feel drained, okay, and financially. However, with encouragement and support from very good friends and other highly respected breeders, and a little bit of a pep talk with myself, decided I'm going to stay in the hobby. I am definitely streamlining and getting rid of a lot of snakes that have served their purpose, good snakes, but I've just got too many mouths to feed. Just concentrating on those very specific projects that I believe will be very, very unique to me, to North Coast constrictors. So I'm gonna run with the ball, guys, and I'm gonna try and hit the summits of that mountain that's just in sight. And if you're in the same position as me, my words to you is good luck. Try and stick it out if you can. And when you get to the top and you do achieve what you want to achieve, you'll be all the better for it, and you'll be thankful and grateful. Guys, on that note, from me, Carl, North Coast Constrictors, see you on the next video. May the odds always be in your favor. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Cheers.